What's going on, everybody? Doing this Spider-Man number 13, and still wishing they would stop doing this lazy memorial without the top logo. I can't stand it. It's so lazy and just uninspiring, and it just makes it hard to spot comics when I go to the store. So, man, also I saw Dragon Ball Super Broly last night. What a great movie. Had a few problems, but it was really good. I don't know if I was going to do a video on it or not. Kind of thinking about it. I don't feel like anyone would be interested, though. There's so many other big Dragon Ball channels. I do want to do some Dragon Ball content, though, so we'll see. Anyway, let's talk about this book. So, this book did a really good job. And by the way, one thing I really like about these new Nick Spencer Spider-Man books is you can jump on every issue. So many books, would just start right here with no context and move the story. Now, I know it kind of takes up some page space to do it this way, but one way he does it that I like is he recaps what's going on, right? And the plot points while he's telling the story. So you can see Spider-Man's fighting Big Man, the Big Man robot, and he's reflecting on the past couple of issues. So you can pick this up and just know what's going on instantly, at least enough to enjoy the issue. And it's something that I rail on because I think it's really important to be accessible to newcomers, which people always roast me a little bit I hate lore, but I don't hate lore. I just don't think that it needs to be there for long-term readers, but it needs to be subtle enough in cases for newcomers so that they don't feel lost. Because if there's one thing that the comic industry desperately needs, it is newcomers, right? I mean, it's dying. Except for this book, Amazing Spider-Man is selling quite well. So that's just my little thing. I like how he does this. I think he does a really good job in doing that. Every issue he's done this well. But this issue is really about defining the relationship between Peter and Jonah, which I like. And it's almost, in many ways, become like a buddy cop relationship between Peter and Jonah, which I really think is an interesting dynamic way that they've been writing them. Zdarsky did it, and now Spencer's adopting it, and I think that it's working really well. I didn't think that I would enjoy this as much as I have been, but the two are just funny together. And Jonah has a really good moment in this book, where he kind of realizes, hey, I messed up. Spider-Man did all this good, and I've ruined his reputation. I've messed up a lot of people's lives, the original Big Man, who I don't really know a lot about. That must be an obscure story. I don't remember Big Man that well. This is the character. But he recognizes that he screwed up this kid because of how things went down with his dad, and he's blaming Spider-Man. He's like, blame me. And we get some really good moments between him and Peter, and Jonah kind of, we see some problems with his job. So, he's getting demoted at work when he had that radio station because people liked hearing him rail on Spider-Man, and the ratings are going down because he's being a better person. And we get a good plot thing at the end where it turns out all the superheroes or all the villains are being collected, and I think that's heading towards the Kraven story. So we have Kraven the Hunter coming in, and it looks like he's hunting animal-based characters. So I'm wondering how that's going to go, and I think Nick Spencer can handle it. There'll be more serious run, because I think just about all of his issues, 13 of them now, have been really lighthearted and more fun. And Kraven requires a serious take. You can't do a goofy story with Kraven. Kraven buried Peter Parker alive and then ran around in his suit for a week. I mean, Kraven's Last Hunt, man. One of the best stories. Now that is a Spider-Man story they need to make. But anyway, yeah, I enjoyed this. I love this relationship between the two of them, and I'm wondering how much we can get out of it. This whole buddy cop thing going on with them is great. So, yeah, not a lot of cringe this week. There's Goddess Mode number 2. I don't even know if I'm interested in reading it. We'll see. Though, admittedly, I haven't gone through all of my books yet. I grabbed a couple obscure ones to see how they were that I don't know anything about, so we'll see how it goes. But yeah, that's pretty much it. When the books are really good, there's not really much to say. Like, I've just been really enjoying this run quite a bit. It's nice to read a good comic. Superman was stupid, and then last week, man, there was a lot of cringe last week. Cringe is good because people love cringy, like roasty videos where you just make fun of bad stuff. But you know, I do like to read good stuff, and I only have so much money to spend on comics, so I can't go and like, you know, buy a ton of stuff. But it is nice to read a good story that stays good, right? 13 issues have been pretty rock solid so far. So yeah, there's that. So anyway, let me know what you're thinking about this book if you're reading it. Like and subscribe. Hit that notification bell. Check out the links in the description. Got a link to my StreamMe. Got a link to my Patreon and my Twitch. Also, make sure you leave a comment. All that good stuff. That definitely helps the channel. Liking and leaving comments helps the channel. It helps every channel. That's like always a good thing to do. So anyway, I'll see you guys. Peace.